Welcome to the EV section of Waveform.
Yeah.
No, look, so this is a video we've been sort of working on in the background for a while because I have a lot of thoughts on this, but about like the EV car space and how uncertain and weird it is, amplified by the chip shortage, amplified by the fact that EVs are hard to make, and cars in general are just a crazy market to be in right now. But like trying to order an EV today is crazy. The actual experience of like, there's an announcement. Is it real? Will I get it if I order it? Should I pre-order? It's $100 to reserve my place in line. Will it ever like, there's so many weird questions.
The $100 refundable thing is still baffling to me, honestly.
And, you know, we talked about Rivian. We've talked about the F-150 Lightning. You can get in line. The Cybertruck, like how long that's been on order. And then you look as far back as like, I technically ordered a Tesla Roadster in 2017, and that's still not out yet. And then there's the Faraday Futures of the world, and it's just like, I don't know what is even coming out anymore.
It's a confusing. It
is. And then today, I opened up Instagram at like 9 in the morning. It was way too early for this. And I got an ad for this electric car company that I've never heard of, which is not uncommon. But it was actually just straight up asking me to invest in the company in an Instagram ad.
Yeah, can you read what it said on there?
But it was just a picture of a pickup truck. And it said, our Reg A+ funding round is closing soon. Invest in Atlas Motor Vehicles today. And don't forget to check out bonus benefits and incentives.
Yeah, and also just to like paint the picture a little better, it's a photo of a pickup truck with like, if you know, whenever cars are kind of testing new models, they have like the white and black camo wrap on it. So it's a black and white camo wrap, but the car is as boxy and like simple as you can imagine it. So you can tell every single line on it as well. But yeah, so like a camo wrapped truck asking you to invest in an Instagram ad with like 90 likes on it.
Yeah. If you click on it or Google the company, you can go to their website where they say they're going to make an electric vehicle platform that you can put all sorts of vehicles on. They're starting with a pickup truck called the XT, 500-mile range, blah, blah, blah. Right at the top, there's a big red invest button.
Hell yeah.
And this is the perfect like summary of all of the different EV like things that I've seen over the years. Here, look, they even show you, here's how much money we've raised, and here's how many investors we have. First of all, you can make one, where do I even start? Okay, let me just start with this. Tesla changed the game pretty seriously. Okay, like the dealership method, where if you wanted to go buy a car, what did you do? You went to a dealership, you haggled a little bit, you bought the car from the dealership, not directly from the company. So Tesla changes the game a little bit. They go direct to consumer. They sell cars online. And in order to have people buy cars online, but not necessarily just buy them willy-nilly and then cancel, they go, okay, there's a $100 reservation fee. Then we'll build your car, and then you can get it and pay full price when you pick it up.
That was like the old way of doing it. It had the $100 reservation.
I think it's $100 for a Model 3.
Because I remember when the Cybertruck came out, it was like the $100 refundable reservation fee. And that's the first time I remember that.
I think even today it might be $1,000 or $500 just to know that people are serious.
It's like a deposit, right?
Exactly. You put a deposit in to get your spot in line. They will start building the car to your order. And then when it's done, you can pick it up and pay the full price there.
And is that refundable or not? It's not refundable. Okay. I think that's the difference.
Some of them are. I think this one might be.
Cybertruck is refundable. Generally, a deposit is non-refundable.
Yeah, I don't know if this one's refundable or not, but it is just to keep people from just ordering tons of stuff for no reason, right? So then we got used to like this online reservation of getting your spot in line for an EV. And then Tesla kept doing it. They did it with Model S. They've done it with now trucks and cars that haven't shipped yet still years later. So they did it with, actually, here's the crazy one, the Roadster. Yeah. A lot of people don't know this, but the Tesla Roadster is going to be a base $250,000 car, right? But if you want to order a Tesla Roadster, you'd have to send them $5,000 reservation fee, and then within 10 days, send them $45,000 more to secure your place in line.
Yep.
So it's one fee just to get your name down, and then another fee, which is a part of the price of the car, to get your name like locked in place, not refundable. And then you pay the rest when you get it.
Mm-hmm.
Even worse.
Even
worse. The Founders Edition, which is one of the first 1,000. We don't really know too many other details about the Founders Edition Roadster, but the Founders Edition,
the color is a different red, right?
Slightly different red, sure. Which is $250,000, is $5,000 deposit to get your name down, and then within 10 days, the entire rest of the $250,000. So you pay $245,000 more dollars to get your spot in line to be one of the first 1,000 Tesla Roadsters.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the fun fact. That was in 2017 when they rolled it off the truck, and they've been selling those out ever since. But let's say you ordered on day one. Within 10 days, you put down your $250,000. If you put that same $250,000 anywhere else, you would have made money off of it. But instead, you just gave Tesla an interest-free loan of $250,000. If you'd put that money in Tesla stock, for example, I think we calculated that would be worth something like $3.5 million right now.
I think
from being that long ago.
Yeah, it's
unbelievable.
It's a crazy amount of money.
So, there's all these companies that are seeing how well this pre-order method works. It's good for Cybertruck, for example. It's really good for showing interest, demonstrating interest in the product, and for attracting investors in general. So when you get to say, hey, we made one really cool EV, paraded it around, and attracted 1,000 reservations, it's kind of like Shark Tank. You're like, oh, so you just need the money to make it now, right? Mm-hmm. And then you'll go out and make the thing. But so many of these companies just haven't made the thing. They just don't make the thing. So they just take all the money, parade it around, make one really cool EV, which is the easiest part, parade it around, get as many reservations as possible from regular people, parade that number around, get as much investor money as possible, and then disappear. Faraday Future, Lordstown Motors. Maybe Faraday's not gone, but that's basically what happened. It was like 5 years ago. Yeah. And it is very, very rare that one actually makes enough money in that parading the car around stage to actually make the car. Yeah. That's why it's so rare. We got like Rivian is new. We got Lucid is new. Mm-hmm. And then some others I checked out around the same time don't exist.
Lucid took a long time, though.
Lucid took a long time, and they're just starting to ship. Rivian took a long time. They're only shipping 25,000 cars next year. Like, it's very hard to scale up a car company and ask Tesla. They're the last ones to do it at scale. But yeah, it's crazy how many like of these we're starting to see.
Well, and I think knowing that is what made this specific Atlas vehicle like very, very strange to us, because it's like, we had never heard of this, and we're pretty, if you listen to Waveform, we talk about any EV news possible. There's because it's interesting, and it's like, it's the big thing going on right now. It's what's changing in technology, and EVs are big, and I'd never heard of this company, and the first time we're seeing it is in an Instagram ad to invest in it. Not
even to buy the truck. They're just straight to like, all right, we're crowdfunding.
Exactly. Like, just you've never heard this. Invest in us now. It says they've raised $5 million with 3,500 investors. Interesting. But I've heard absolutely nothing from this. And actually, I just realized, do you see what the URL for this is?
AtlasMotorVehicles.com.
Oh, okay. I'm in a different part, I guess. It's investinatlas.com.
Oh, it does take you. Yeah. So here's the formula, right? So I've narrowed it down. This is the exact formula of making billions of dollars. Step 1. Make a nice drawing of an EV. Something that would sell a lot.
A render, something.
If you got to make up some features, if you have to, do it.
Like a drone that flies out of the back?
Yeah, a drone that flies out of the back, something crazy. Just make it look nice. Step 2, design a whole web page around that one really cool EV. It doesn't have to be real. Just make a nice looking web page for it. Step 3, get enough money, this is the hard part, to make one of them. Mm-hmm. Just one. Make a really nice, it doesn't matter how much you spend on it, just make one really nice EV. Parade that car around to as many people as possible, put on an event, send people to the web page, and make sure you have a big red reserve button on that web page. At some point, make people able to pay, I don't know, $100, whatever. Just get people in the door, hitting the reserve button. When you get a bunch of people that have seen, wow, this one EV you made, that's a great idea and it's totally real. And then they go to the webpage and they see, look at all these other cool features it's going to have. It's totally real. they'll totally reserve, right? Step, I don't know, what are we on, 3 or 4?
Feels like some like scam class.
Profit. Yeah, no. Next step is take that number of reservations and parade it around to people with billions of dollars. Look at what we just did. We have this great idea. They don't know if it's real or not. We have this great truck. We only made one, but it doesn't matter. And we're going to make so much money if we can just make like millions of these trucks, whatever EV, and get them to invest in your company so you can tell them that you're going to build a factory and scale up production and really make this thing for real. Tell as many of them as possible, get as much money as possible, and step 5 is good luck with the rest, which is if you can actually build the factory and the tools in the factory and the robots and everything and hire all these people and engineers and maybe even poach them from other failed companies and put them all together and stir hard enough, maybe you can ship a couple more of these things. But yeah, we've seen so many examples of this. I mean, Lordstown basically followed this exact formula, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, this is one thing I found really funny when we were like looking into this video is some of these websites just feel like they don't even care. Like the Lordstown website,
it's weird.
The photography is atrocious. The website is terrible. There's like 50 different fonts.
But they just have to make it look like a good product. That's all.
It doesn't look like a good product by the
No,
website,
the product looks cool.
Okay,
the website doesn't look great, but the product, if it was real, that'd be so sick.
All the pictures are taken with like an iPhone SE in the dark and nothing is like level. It's just brutal. Like you look at something like that as just anyone who uses e-commerce shops and you look at it and just think, there's no way this is how little they care about the presentation of it.
And if you've got a big reserve button, that's all you need.
I guess. I kind of want to talk about, because one thing you mentioned was like, give it a bunch of features and you need features to stand out.
Yep.
And this Atlas car has some wild claims. I
just
think,
promise the world, and if you get enough money, you can hire engineers who will figure it out.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be real.
This is like more than promise. How long does it take you if you wanted to charge your Tesla right now from 1 to 100, all the way to 100? On the fastest charger possible.
45? 50?
This claims it can do it in 15 minutes.
Cool. Yeah. Great.
That's
for sure.
That's just like, at that point, you're just lying, I feel like. I mean,
but we're gonna hire engineers though, with all the money from your investment.
Oh man. Like, listen, I hope they can get to 15 minutes. And what's crazy is 15 minutes is still 4 or 5 times longer than it takes to gas up a vehicle. So you're still not quite at that time, but this is claiming 0 to 100, 15 minutes, any conditions. It should be fast, affordable, and consistent all the time.
I bet it should be. But yeah, and everyone has a slightly different take on it. Like Lordstown was going to do trucks. This Atlas company, anytime I ever talk about these companies, one of them reaches out like, oh, can we talk more about it? I'm just telling you right now, I'm not interested until you ship something. So I'm not. But this company says they're going to do an EV platform so they can build a bunch of different bodies on top.
I think that's really interesting.
Similar to what Canoe was trying to do. And
more in like a fleet version, and this is fleet as well. I kind of like this. They're taking the EV skateboard wheel design, letting you build something on top of it, because almost all EVs have that similar design.
Great idea.
I think that part in itself is really cool. But then like talking about 15-minute battery charging and just like some of the things they're promising on here seem wild, when at the same time you're buying Instagram ads to invest into the company. That just seems like such a reach.
I would love to
see desperate move.
I would love to see one of these go on Shark Tank and try to explain themselves. Actually, I would really love that, because then you'd have to
see how investors.
Yeah, you'd have to have you'd roll out the one truck you made, and you'd be like, look at this product. It's going to change the world. But wait, it's not just a product, Mr. Wonderful. It's a licensing deal, because we make the platform and we can sell this platform to anyone who wants to electrify their cars. It's a great idea. And they go, oh, what's the market size for this? It's cars. It's a bajillion-dollar market. They've got all this prep. They've got this beautiful website. And by the way, we've got 10,000 people who have already reserved one. We just need your money to invest to start making this thing right now. And then Mr. Wonderful goes, all right, well, how many sales do you have? And they're like, well, we haven't actually made any yet, but we have a lot of reservations and a lot of interest. And then you go, all right, well, how much money do you need? And they go, $50 billion. And they go, oh,
0.1% in the company.
Yeah, we need a lot more money than you're willing to invest right now.
Yeah. And I just want to make it clear, like, all of these EV companies, I hope succeed. I would like all of them to succeed.
Almost all of them, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Someone's got a bit more of a gripe going then. But like, it just feels like it's hurting. Oh man, I don't know if I even want to say that, but just like,
No,
I
I
don't
agree.
know. This website itself just feels kind of like a slap in the face to some of the other ones. And I hope they're developing technology to make a 15. Like, you've got a couple really cool things here. Crazy fast charging battery. You have a platform that you can design different types of trucks on to meet the needs of the fleets you have and stuff like that.
Great idea.
All of those ideas are really cool, but like when you say all of them are coming together and just a giant button to just invest money in it without seeing much feels,
I think,
sketchy at best.
the reason I'm like trying to package all these thoughts into one video and like, hey, maybe it's a waveform clip right now, but we'll figure this out.
Yeah.
But like, I do think it kind of does hurt the potential of a lot of the industry in general. Like when it gets so sketchy to try to decide what to buy. We've had people come by at work, like when we have the Rivian out and we're shooting it, people are like, that's the thing. That's the Rivian. I want one. I actually already have an order in. I wonder when I'll get one. And I'm like, I can't tell you when you're going to get it. Maybe someday soon. And at least we have one here, but that situation is a lot worse for some other ones. I made a video about the Faraday Future. Knowing what I know now, I would definitely have hesitated to make that video. Yeah. Like we saw the Lucid Air 5 years ago, and it's finally just starting to ship. How many others are we going to point a camera at? That never happened.
Lucid Air was like full, basically almost fully working prototype that we drove in. And to us, we're like, okay, this is a step further, because that was the year after Faraday Future, I believe. I started the CES after you saw the Faraday Future, and I thought it was really cool. And then we're like, oh man, we haven't seen much, and it was pretty bare bones. Oh, but here's the Lucid. This has like, we're going to drive in it. And the only thing didn't really work was like the air conditioning or something.
Yeah.
So we thought it was right around the corner.
I thought they were about to ship. And that's the thing. Like, and I bet Elon said basically a version of this before, but like, yeah, making the first one is easy. So the fact that they had a really good single working prototype for us to drive in, it's a good sign, which means, hey, you can source parts, build motors, make a nice interior, fit and finish is like cool to see that type of stuff. Great, you hired the right people to make that one. But the hard part is making 1 million of them. And the gap between making that one really good and mass producing in a way that can sustain a company is huge. It's gargantuan. So that would be my point of the video, is trying to highlight like what this stuff does to people's minds when they start seeing so many of them that they don't know what's real anymore.
Yeah. It and just like to reiterate here, these are just our opinions quickly. Like we don't know much about this company. Maybe they do great. I'm sure they wouldn't be happy about us saying all this.
Please ship one.
But like this is just what we're seeing in our thoughts when we pay attention to this all the time. And it's getting to the point where it feels weird, I guess, and we just want to try and put our thoughts out on that.
It's funny, I see so many new ones. This is the other thing I want to probably include, is there's a difference between a new company promising an EV and an existing company promising an EV, because at least that existing company is already mass producing cars. So we feel like we have some basis to go by, like, oh, okay, we know what their fit and the finish will be like. We know how many they'll be able to make. Like, it seems like they've got a good head start rather than like trying to crowdfund from zero into Ford.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, I know we've talked about this before, and I think both of us kind of wonder which side's the better option for this, because you have Tesla, who created a great product and all the super beneficial things of EV and smart car and driving and all that together. But manufacturing is what they really had to learn, and they're still really working on that. Where you have someone like Ford, who has the Mustang or the Mach-E and stuff like that, who has production down pat. I mean, like it's like the pinnacle of production, but then they're used to gas powered, the EV, smart stuff like that. They're not a software company. It's so which one of those is going to catch up to the other side first? Where are they going to cross paths and then kind of equalize? But then starting from new is just a whole, when you don't have the experience on either end, it's a lot harder. And
that's
I get
the fun
it.
thing.
It's hard.
Yeah, I mean, to sort of put a pin on this, I made a video a while ago. I think it was called like Dear Tesla Competitors or something like that. I think it might have been around the Rivian.
It might have just been like Dear EVs or something.
Something like that. But basically what you just said, like, okay, Tesla's here, poor manufacturing, great EV tech and like ideas, trending towards getting better manufacturing.
Exactly.
And then you have the like Fords and Mercedes of the world who can manufacture a car trying to get better at the EV thing. And when do they meet in the middle and get better at the thing they're bad at? And what does that look like? Do you think that Mercedes and Ford will get to be a really good software company, an EV company first? Or do you think Tesla will get to be a really good manufacturing company first?
Yeah.
I don't know what's harder. I don't know what's more or less realistic, but that's the thing that we're watching. That's the fascinating thing.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching the clip. Waveform's actually going to launch its own EV, and we just need investment. So if you just click that big red button under it's subscribe, that's French for invest.
Right.
You might as well click it, and you can just invest in our new EV.
Yes. So the product's great. It's basically just a Cybertruck and a Roadster and a Lucid Air all in one. It just is.
10,000 miles of range.
It just is.
4-minute wireless charging up to 200 meters away.
And we're also going to build our own wireless network.
Yeah, and we come in the front trunk when you order it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Click the red button. I don't know why you wouldn't.
How could you not? It's
a free investment.
Imagine not investing in this and then it blows up. Can you really afford to miss out on this?
You can't. I promise you can't.
Hit it.